Hey guys, Elizabeth here from Plant Based Bride, and today I'm going to do another plan with me for my bullet journal. I'm super excited because I've finished my old journal, which means I'm moving into a new one. And for any of you who have a journal or do bullet journaling or have a planner, you might understand the pure joy that comes with a new untouched notebook that you get to try to make perfect if you're anything like me. So it's pretty similar to my old one. My old one was a black moleskin notebook, hardcover with squares, and my new one is very similar. It's the same size, 240 pages, black hardcover moleskin. This one has dots. I tend to prefer dots. I go back and forth. There are some ways that having the squares is a little bit easier, but I like that the dots provide a little bit more freedom for how I fill out my spreads. And they're also a little less intrusive on the page. You don't notice them as much. So I'm excited to go back into a dotted notebook. And if you guys are interested in seeing any parts of my old one, I can show them to you. I went through lots of different styles and spreads and things in my old bullet journal. I also kind of broke the spine and put lots of other stuff in there, so it's super thick, and my cat chewed off the little elastic that's supposed to hold it closed. So this notebook has kind of been through hell, and I am grateful for it, but I'm super excited to start a new one and start afresh. So in this video, I'm going to be setting up just the basic stuff of a bullet journal that goes at the beginning of all my bullet journals, just in general. And then I'm also going to be setting up my April month. So all of the stuff I set up at the start of a month. So as far as supplies and things I'm going to use in this video, I'm not sure if I'm going to use everything, but I have my Staedtler Tri-Plus fine liners. I have a set of 20 here. I also have a set of 10, and these ones are the rollerball pens instead of the porous point pens. The jury's still out on which I prefer. I think I prefer these ones, but the roller ball pens were kind of interesting to try. They're slightly thicker, they're 0.4 millimeter instead of 0.3. But yeah, if you've used both of these, what are your thoughts? Which one do you prefer? Let me know. So I'll probably be using some of these colors here. I also have some other things here. So I have a pencil. This one is a Blackwing Palomino pencil. I have 3 of the 4 pens that came in my Faber-Castell set. I have, I'm not sure where the F, the fine point, has gone. Lost it somewhere. But I do have this Prismacolor fine point. It's a fine line marker, which pretty much replaces the fine point pen that I've lost from this set. I also have a Micron Archival Ink 03 fine black pen. So these will be what I'm using the most, these 5 black pens, and probably mostly these thinner ones. So the S from Faber-Castell, the Prismacolor, and the Micron. So I also have 2 Copic markers. These are the only 2 Copic markers I own. I bought them just to try them out. So I have them in gray and green. The gray is Cool Gray C7, and the green one is Grayish Olive G94. So those are all of my supplies for my bullet journal. Again, I'm not sure how many of them I'm going to use. We will see. I also have a ruler, and I also have a glass so that I can make circles if I want to. So I think that's everything I have to talk about. I'm just gonna get started setting up my journal. I'm just gonna speed this up because otherwise it would take forever. So now it's time to walk you guys through what I've set up in my journal today. I just wrote my name in the front. I will write my phone number here as well so that if I do lose it, someone can return it to me. I left the very first page free. I usually do that in case I decide I want to do a little piece of artwork there. Not sure yet if I do or if I'll just leave it blank, but that's something I pretty much always do in my journals, leave the first page blank. It's also because it doesn't quite open as much as all the other pages, so it's more difficult to write and use, and it's pretty annoying, so I usually just leave that one out. Then we have the index. I wanted to use my Copic marker in the cool gray number 7. It's honestly too dark to use in this way, so I stopped using it, and I didn't even use my green one because it really bled through the paper. And I find this paper seems to be quite a bit thinner than the paper in my old one. As I said, my old one was squares, and when I tried out the gray on this one, it showed through, but it wasn't super dark. On this one, it was almost equally as dark on the other side. I'm not sure why the pages are thinner. So that was kind of disappointing, but anyway. So I did my index and I kept it super, super simple, just very utilitarian. Page number and then what the spread is. So started writing those in as I did them. I actually didn't finish doing that, so let's do that now. So the index, basically, if you're not familiar with bullet journals, is just a place to record where everything is, so that if you're looking for something in particular, you don't have to use lots of tabs in your notebook, you don't have to constantly be flipping through all 240 pages to find your thing. You can just look here and look down the list, say, oh, I wanted my video ideas, page 7, perfect, done. Makes life a lot easier. So next I have my future log here, and I do future log a little differently than the traditional bullet journal. A lot of people do a Calendex or they'll do a list format. I have to be able to look at months in this format to keep track of it for my brain. So I put in all the rest of the months in 2017 and just put in the numbers. And then as things come up, and this is just for specific future events that I need to keep track of, I'm just putting little dots on top of the date and then coming down to the bottom, writing the month, the date, and then what that thing is. So like, for example, April 11th, a little dot, come down here, April 11, flight to Calgary. And I can keep doing that. I kind of stopped after just getting April and May, but I can do things like marking people's birthdays in this way. I can mark, again, specific days like flying somewhere, or like I marked the opening and closing of my show, stuff like that. So that's what the future log is like, and just to be able to visualize future dates, keep track of that stuff. Here we have my April title page, just a cute little illustration to show the start of the month. Then here I have my April 2017 calendar. Again, I have to look at calendars in this traditional calendar format. I've tried other ways of doing it and it confuses me and I don't like it. So my traditional calendar it is. And I decided to do pretty flowers, you know. And then I went into my future log in my old bullet journal, as well as my actors calendar thing that I have from the production company that is putting on the musical I'm in currently, to write in all of the important information so far for what's happening on days in April. So I wrote all of that out. I decided to just do it in black. Sometimes I color code it. I decided to keep it more simple and just do black. And then I also wrote a quote along the bottom: "No one is you, that is your power." Then on to the 6th page here, I have my Plant-Based Bride content calendar. And my goal is always to put out 3 pieces of new content a week. I have been struggling with this recently, being away from home, my schedule being so incredibly busy, and also just being in a different place and not having my normal setup, not having my office and all of my normal resources at hand. So I'm not sure how well I'll do in April, but I want to have that as my goal to get back to 3 pieces of content, and that's new videos on Mondays and Saturdays here on my YouTube channel, and also new blog posts on Wednesdays on my blog, plantbasedbride.com. So I just listed the day of the week and the date along the side, and then what I'll do after this video, tomorrow, whatever, I'll go through all my video ideas, all my requests that I keep written down, either in my bullet journal or in Evernote on my phone and my computer. And I will plan out the videos and blog posts I want to do in April. I usually do that in pencil, so I'll write out the potential video or blog post's title in pencil, and then once I've filmed it and determined exactly when it's going to go up, I'll write it in pen. Or once I publish it, either or. But that way it just makes me feel calmer if I want to change things around, if I want to switch a video to the next week, whatever. I don't have to panic about it being in pen and stress myself out. And at the bottom, I did this cute little thing. This is based on Amanda Rach Lee's video. She does this in her bullet journal. It's really cute. It's a little April growth tracker, and I made mine way smaller and simpler than hers. All I'm tracking is subscribers. So today, as of today, I'm at 3,300. And then also views for my channel. And currently I'm just over 1 million views. I'm at 1,074,149 views. So we'll see where I am at the end of April. And then here on page 7, it's pretty open right now. It's just gonna be video ideas and brain dump. So if people request something, if I get a great video idea that doesn't really fit into April, or that I think is gonna take more time to put together or whatever, or just brain dump ideas for my blog, for my channel, or just random tasks that I want to get done, this page is for that. Now on to the next page here, I have my goals and my habit tracker. So I have 3 main goals for April. They are to get all of my splits. I'm very close. I've always struggled with my middle splits, and I've torn my left hamstring quite a few times. So my left front split is always give or take, depending on how my hamstring is doing. And my center splits I haven't had since I was a young child, just because my hips are pretty tight naturally. So I want to get them. Finally, all 3 of them consistently down flat. So that is my first goal. My next goal is to be debt-free. I don't have very much debt at all, but I have a tiny bit. I'm also going to practice positivity as much as I can. For any of you that are more familiar with me, you know my mental health story. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it in a card. But I struggle with anxiety and depression. So practicing positivity is very difficult for me, but it's also very important for my mental health as self-care. So that is another one of my main goals for April. And then underneath that, I have my habit tracker. I did this a little different than I've done it before. I just listed every day of the month, and then here wrote in some of the different things I want to track. For example, being awake by 9 a.m. That may seem really late to some of you, but guys, I am the least morning person in the whole world. And it's really hard when you're in a show that finishes really late at night to wind down from being on stage in bright lights and bright costumes and singing and dancing for a big audience, and then going home and just going straight to sleep. It's almost impossible. So I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway and saying, try to be asleep by midnight, try to wake up by 9. And hopefully that way I'm not just setting myself up for failure. Also other things to track, like stretching, because I'm going to be stretching every single day. I have been already, but again, to fulfill my goal, doing my top 3 tasks for the day, meditating, nourishing myself. So eating foods that are actually nutrient dense and actually going to help me and make me feel good. Having good vibes, so essentially practicing positivity, tidying, bedtime routine, stuff like that. And then the last page I did was my life brain dump. I like having brain dumps. They essentially are to-do lists, but sometimes they're also just things that I want to remember. And then page 10, the next page, is going to be the start of my first weekly spread. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what kind of videos you want to see from me next. Do you want more bullet journal videos, more minimalism videos, videos about veganism, videos about mental health and self-care, videos about fashion and beauty? Let me know what you want to see. Leave those in the comments. I will do my best to get to as many of them as possible. And also let me know in the comments below if you have a bullet journal. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more videos from me every Monday and Saturday. Don't forget to check out my Instagram at Elizabeth Turn. my Pinterest where I save a lot of bullet journal inspiration. I'm under Plant Based Bride there, and my blog, plantbasedbride.com, where I have a whole bunch of content, and I do have some blog posts and information there about bullet journaling, as well as all of the other topics I tend to talk about on my channel and on my blog: veganism, minimalism, all of that jazz. So check them out. All the links will be in the description box for you guys, and I'll see you super soon in my next video. Bye guys.